You are oh so beautiful, yeah, yeah, to me. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Lewis Beasley from lewisbeasley.com, youtube.com/streamlewis, whatever.com channel and site you can find me on. Check this out. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Dell XPS 8900. Is this thing really a workhorse, or is it a donkey wanting to be a horse? We're about to find out right here in this video. Hey, so a lot of you guys may be wondering, Lewis, what are you doing with this PC on your desk? I thought, I heard, or I assumed you were a Mac guy. I'm gonna get into that just in 1 second. So for those of you who may be curious with that answer, I'm gonna provide an answer. Wait, for those of you who may be curious about that question, I'm about to provide an answer. So first, let's talk about the specs and what this thing actually has in it. Now, the internal memory is 16 gigabytes of DDR4. You can expand this thing up to 3200, and if you really know what you're doing, then you can expand this thing up to 64 gigabytes. I think. I need to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure you can. We'll talk about that later on. GeForce GTX 745 4 gigabyte DD3 memory. That's okay for, your average editing, but we're going with 4K editing, and I got some heavy video projects that I need to get done. So I'm more than likely going to pull that 745 card out of there and install a 780. More on that later on. A 1 terabyte 7200 HDD hard drive. Now I'm using that hard drive for storage only. I actually put in my own SSD to run the main operating system and also the programs installed on that main operating system drive or partition. So that being said, I am not using the HDD drive in here for anything but storage, retrieving and storing. Other than that, everything is running off the SSD card. A wireless 802.11b GN card plus Bluetooth 4.0 adapter. 6th gen Intel Core i7 quad processor, up to 400 gigahertz of speed. Now that's a little bit of power. You have your standard DVD read and write drive, and also integrated 7.1 audio with Wave Max Audio 4. This also has the Windows 10 64-bit Home Edition operating system. It is what it is. So that being said, let's turn this thing around and take a look at the back of the unit here. Okay, so on the back you can see that you have 2 standard USB ports. These are just your standard 2.0 USB ports. You also have your Ethernet jack. Below that you have your display port, your HDMI port, and then you have 4 dedicated USB 3.0 ports. You also have your multiple 3mm inputs and outputs for sound. Now on the back of the GTX 745 video card, you have the DVI, HDMI, and VGA ports. And then we have a total of 4 expansion slots. Now if you take a look at the top here, you see that Dell has that real handy accessory tray. You also have your microphone port and your headphone jack. And taking a look at the front of the unit here, you have 2 more USB 3.0 ports and also a multimedia card reader. Now I know you want to know, Lewis, why are you using a PC? I thought you do video editing and all your stuff on a Mac. Huh, Lewis? Huh? Tell us that, Lewis. Well, let me tell you the truth and be honest with you. I enjoyed the best of both worlds. So the reason for me actually purchasing this was that, hey, I wanted the best of both worlds. Yes, I use a Mac. Yes, I use a PC. The majority of the time I am on a Mac, but I don't limit myself to just a Mac environment. I also have a few PCs laying around the house. That being said, I'm a Windows fan too. Can I be both Windows and Mac? So I use a Mac at work, and recently I had to do a fairly large video project that required me to edit a 7-minute video, put together and then edit a 7-minute video. The same iMac that I use at work, I was also planning on purchasing from Apple. That being said, I ran into some performance problems while doing that video project, and that made me sit back and really think, do I really want to spend $5-6 grand right now to buy a Mac Pro? Or, is there a more affordable way that I can go to give me pretty much the same performance? So this is where the XPS came in, and I have to say that I am fairly happy with my choice thus far. Last but not least, why did I buy a PC instead of a Mac? I enjoy the flexibility of being able to update to the latest and greatest component rather than the entire system itself. Yes, you can upgrade some of the components inside of an iMac, but let's be honest about it, you're very limited in regards to what you can upgrade. And then if you want to go beyond the standards in an iMac environment, you're going to have to put in a little work in regards to teardown keeping up with all the little bitty parts and putting back together. Not as intuitive as simply sliding the cover off of a desktop, pulling out the component and slapping your new component in. So, you know, that flexibility along with the performance and a few other things is the reason why I chose to go with a PC this time for my video editing. So as you heard me mention just a few minutes ago, my intentions for this thing is to use it as a dedicated video editing machine. I do quite a bit of 4K video editing as well as 1080p files, so you know, I needed something that's pretty strong that I can depend on and rely on in regards to performance. Last but not least, I do plan on upgrading the video card and the memory in this thing. 32 gigabytes for sure. I'm doing my homework right now, but I'm pretty sure you can slap 64 gigabytes in here as well. So as long as that's the case, I'm going to max it out to 64 gigs of RAM as well as that GTX 980 video card. So who is this PC for? Let me first and foremost say that it is not for the average person who just uses a computer to surf the internet. There is way too much power in this thing in regards to just using it to surf the internet. You know, if you don't do any heavy or intensive processing locally on your desktop, then this probably isn't the computer for you. You likely probably want to look into a laptop or maybe a tablet to simply surf the internet on. But for me, I enjoy power, I need power, and I do a lot of processing locally on my computers. Now, the Dell XPS models have always been geared to those who need that high performance, right? You don't have your average component parts inside of this PC. Dell definitely takes the extra step to put a little extra power in there for you. Not enough power for me quite, which is why I'm upgrading the individual components. I could have done that on the Dell website, but I wanted to save a little money, so I'm going to do it all myself, right? In one of these upcoming videos. The XPS line of computers is also geared toward those who work in music production or video editing or even gaming. This thing will definitely handle that. You may decide to upgrade a few components to get that much better performance, but out of the box, what this thing comes with, it will definitely fit the bill for the average consumer. Now let me say this, I know a lot of you guys and a lot of my fans are going to ask about, hey, is this a good computer for production? Is this a good computer for recording? Obviously, since my channel is based upon technology and music, I know a lot of you guys record and produce your own music. Yes, the answer is yes. This thing will definitely be a great workhorse for those of you who are into recording and mixing or even producing your own music on your computer. Might be something you want to look into. So overall, the Dell XPS 8900 is a big bang for your buck. For what you get inside of this thing, you really can't beat the price. Also keep in mind that, you know, if the components on the inside isn't fast enough for you, you can always upgrade those components to the latest and the greatest. Now, if you're wondering how much this thing's cost, I suggest you to look down in the description because I have listed it there for you guys. You can buy the fully loaded version, but if I may offer a recommendation, if I was you guys, I would probably buy the one just under the fully loaded version, unless you don't mind spending the extra cash. Some people are penny pinchers and they want to save a little bit of money. So that being said, if that is you, then I would recommend that you buy the one just below the fully loaded version and then install your own upgrades because you're likely going to save some money that route versus, you know, having Dell put everything in there that you want at an additional cost. Of course, if money ain't a thing, then you're more than welcome to do that. So I'm curious to know what you guys use for a computer. Are you more of a PC fan or do you lean more towards a Mac? Some of you may not even like it. Some of you may even prefer a tablet. Answer that question right down in the description, right? I'm gonna be very curious to see what some of you guys say. If you want to see something specific in terms of this computer, let me know and I'll do a more in-depth review or I'll cover just that specific thing. You guys got to let me know. Just answer it down in the description, all right? Till next time, don't forget to thumbs up this video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Sound you later.